Hey everyone, welcome back to Adobe Live. I am your host and freelance graphic designer, Anika, and I will be here today to talk about Mental Health Awareness Month. And I'm going to be using Adobe Fresco. But before we actually dive into it, there was this really cool stream today. I don't know if you watched it live, but in case you missed it, you can actually watch it on YouTube. It was about experimenting and exploring Fresco, and Rich Armstrong from Tap Tap Kaboom was actually with me, and I was hosting him. And it was amazing. Let me just tell you that I had a blast. You can watch the replays both on YouTube and on Behance. And speaking of YouTube, if you're watching this on YouTube, hop on over to Behance. This is where we have all the friends in the chat. I want to say hi to you also. So make sure to come on in, chime in, and we can talk all about mental health and using art for therapy. So before we dive into it, I see so many friends. Hey Wade, hey Val, Oliver, more Anika. Yes, hello. Thank you all so much for joining us again. I am really excited for this stream. I always want to use art as a means to express and as a means for spreading awareness in one way or the other. We were talking about the Create Waves campaign earlier today, and I feel like those are the real aspects and the real things we should all care about. And using your creative outlet, be it photography, be it illustration, be it graphic design, motion, video, all of it, you can use all of that to create awareness around the subject. But with that said, we have May, which is the Mental Health Awareness Month. And I want to use this platform to say that it's okay to ask for help. And to promote that idea, I want to create an illustration. And I started off with pen and paper. Would you believe it? I'm someone who does a lot of digital art. But this time I went ahead to my sketchbook right here. And I don't know if you can see this really well, but these were the thumbnail sketches I did. I started off with this one on the left, and then maybe that's right for you. Then this is the second one. We got back into some more, and these are actually inspired by Vincent van Gogh's Old Man and Sorrow. I don't know if you guys have seen the painting before, but let's actually show you how that looks in fresco. So, this was the bigger thumbnail that I created, and I just took a photograph from the iPad. I'm using Adobe Fresco on an iPad Pro, if you're wondering. And wherever you see like these blue dots is basically where I'm touching on the screen with my hand. I'm also using an Apple Pencil. And if you've never used Fresco before, feel free to ask any questions that you might have. And actually, pencil and paper, not pen and paper. And then we have this, which was a sketch, and I translated that to like a pencil sketch in Fresco, and I added a bunch of things. When I was actually making the sketch, since this is a slightly shorter stream format, I decided to make the sketch on my own personal time, and this is what I came up with. So this is how the sketch looks like. And when Rich was talking about having an extra universe and all of that, really resonated with me, because this is like all of these lines are actually piercing through your mental health in this case, in the sense of the world is looking at you from all angles. And that is what I wanted to convey with this. And then this is basically just you asking for help. I added a little red telephone for help, which is not really red right now, but it can be. And there's other elements in this as well. So this is just a pencil sketch right here. So I know there were a few questions in chat. I'm going to address that in just 1 second. I know Ruth had a really cool question about using drawings made in Fresco to Adobe Illustrator. And yes, you can do that. So there's this button right here, which helps you export and publish stuff. So you can actually open a copy in Illustrator for iPad or desktop. And when you do that, if you have the Illustrator app for the iPad already downloaded, it just redirects you and makes a copy in Illustrator. And same for desktop if you're on the same local network. So I hope that answers that. But before we answer any more questions, let's dive into our color palette. So we have the layers panel, and of course, I haven't named my layers. Of course, we have two color palettes here, and I feel like I really like this one on the left, just because it has these very vibrant colors that I can use. And if you've been following me before on Instagram or elsewhere on my live streams, you know that I really love purples and oranges and yellows. So I had to use that. But let's actually use something and make this vectors. So there are very cool jitter brushes in Fresco. Let's see. Over here, right here, which I'm going to use. Let's actually go with light jitter and make like some line work. But I love that everyone's really excited in chat. Clever says pen and paper, woohoo! And Oliver is like, pen and paper? What? Thank you, Val. Val says, Val loves them. Hey, thanks for joining, everyone. All right, let's dive into what we have today. So I'm gonna put the sketch on a less opacity here and go on top of it with I think this is like a very basic light jitter brush. We have this little handy dandy brush setting, and with like the latest updates of Fresco, we have jitter in vector brushes as well. And if you are someone who likes organic drawings and you think that that's your mode of expression, you can actually use these brushes, change the pressure dynamics, and actually test it here. So let's say I change the roundness of the brush. I can actually go in and draw a line or a wave there just to see how that's going to look. I'm going to switch this back to 70. I think that's what I had it on, and just go from there. And Stony in the chat is also saying some things about drawings, which is great. I would love to know if you guys, and I feel like with the pandemic, it is also super hard for us to express ourselves. And I would love to know if you guys have ever expressed yourself with art. And I would love if you can share in the community Discord as well. We have the Photoshop Discord. I think that's where you can share it, maybe in the art share channel. But I feel like with the pandemic, all of our mental health have been compromised a lot, and nobody gives it enough emphasis ever. I feel like the more you say, the more you need to say it. And it is actually one of the topmost health disorders that anyone can ever have. And I feel like using art as a medium to highlight that is something that I'm really close to. With other struggles in life as creators, I feel like this is something that we can do to help you as a creative also feel that you're not alone. And I feel like that's a really powerful tool. So what I'm doing here is basically vectorizing my sketch so that I can use these line works as a reference layer. I know we were talking about reference earlier today as well, but if you're using like a raster layer as a reference, you can only fill in raster colors. But if you have vector line work, you can fill in vectors. And that's what I want, because I want this to be scalable. Maybe I get it printed later on. I don't know, but I want it to be at least possible. So I have a 5400 by 72 pixel poster canvas size right here. And I have a 300 PPI as well. So it prints up to 18 by 24 with good quality. So yeah, I just want all my canvases to at least have the option to be printed, So I went to this super cool art gallery here. It's called Art Gallery of Ontario, Argo, Toronto. And it had a really cool exhibition by Matthew Wong. And they had created their expression and what makes them feel closed in and like inside a box. And that was actually the inspiration behind the stream and the idea behind the illustration. Because even when you're inside or outdoors amongst people, you can still feel alone. And I feel like a lot of us don't talk about it, and we should. So we have a few questions coming in the chat, and I will answer that in just a second. Clever says, I like that feature, doodle add brush settings. Yeah, absolutely. The hand kind of looks weird. I'm going to go through this really, really quickly just because I feel like I'm talking a lot and not finding the right balance between creating and talking. You know how it is with live streaming, but I love it. So Dorina says, can you save a Fresco file on an iPad and open it in Illustrator on the desktop? You can. Dorina, I was actually talking about that earlier. So if you click here, open a copy, you can actually open it both on the iPad and the desktop Illustrator app. And if you're on the same local Wi-Fi network, it automatically opens Illustrator on the desktop for you. So in short, yes, you can do that. Val in the chat says, when I struggle with bad days, I write stories and illustrate the characters I make up. It's very calming. Yeah, it's essential even for your mental health, because I feel like it's like writing a journal, right? So you find like a creative way to write a journal. All right, I'm gonna actually hide this and see how this looks. Not too great, but we'll see. We'll see how it goes. Let's see. I love that. Stony also agrees about the pandemic and like finding a creative outlet, which I feel like is mandatory now. So let's see. Okay. So I love this idea of having these color palettes right here. Maybe I'll just try to do this with like raster art right now and see how that comes up. Let's actually use this as a reference for now and then fill in the colors. So what I did was went to these three hamburger menu, not hamburger. This is called something else. The ellipses here, and go to set as reference. And then I'm going to create a new layer on top and go to my color fill. And then I'm just going to hold and press and hold down just to select the eyedropper tool and select some colors here. So maybe this has like a purple color. And just to show you how that's going to look, that is basically how you can add color to your illustrations. All right, let's see here. 1 second. I am gonna get this out of the way here, and let's see. I lost chat for a second. 1 sec, guys. 1 second. So I don't know if you all ever make any creative illustrations, but I would love to hear more about it. So anyway, I got it under control. I got the chat back, so we're good. We have this purple color that I really like. I see that there are some spaces that I didn't want filled, and that is basically because my line work wasn't perfect. So I'm actually gonna keep going with my vector line work because I feel like that would be more organic in this case. So let's actually go here and do this. Go back here. Sean and Randall are joining us. Hey, welcome, folks. How is it going? Let's see. Okay, let's go back. All right, I feel like now I just need to be careful. So the thing about reference layers is that you have to be careful about keeping all the paths closed. And that is the one thing that I feel like I don't pay attention to when I'm doing reference layers. I think I don't use it enough to pay attention to it. But the other way would be coloring in. So I feel like that would be more cumbersome than actually paying attention to making the right kind of paths, But yeah, let's see. Let's actually turn this layer off, go over here and make this full screen. So all I'm doing is basically using just a vector brush to create these shapes and getting it out there. All right. Let's see. So we have a few questions coming in chat. Ruth is asking if I'm using CMYK colors, and no. So I am using RGB colors, but I can actually change that when I export this to Illustrator or even Photoshop for that matter. But since this is vectors right now, I am going to export this to Illustrator later on, and then I can just change the document color mode. If we have time today, I can actually show that to you. But if not, we can cover that in some other stream. But these are RGB colors. So no, this is mainly supposed to be like a digital illustration. So I am not using RGB colors. But nowadays you can also get RGB colors printed. So it's not a big deal, I don't think. Okay, so I'm going to leave this just for now and not go into a lot of detail. I'm just going to go here and make these big lines and shapes, which is, I think, the way to go when you're making an illustration which has reference layers, because you don't want to make too many lines that you have to fill in because it's just more cumbersome. You're just creating more work for you that way. And I feel like you don't want to do that. But yeah, Val in the chat is saying that she doesn't use these kind of brushes in Fresco, and it seems like it's really great for filling areas with color cleanly when you paint bucket layer. Yeah, I love using reference layers. I feel like reference layers really make your life easy and like make it quicker. The only thing about it is with the paths. Also, I messed that up. Oh, hold on. So I feel like these lines are something that I want to get used to as well. Like the jitter brushes, I use Illustrator primarily for a lot of illustrations as well. And I feel like getting used to this line is only a matter of time because you just feel like it's organic, but when it's really not vectors, I don't know. It's hard finding that balance, but I love it. I love finding new ways to express and to explore an app. And I feel like Adobe Fresco in my journey has been really, really great that way because I have created all kinds and various styles of illustrations with Fresco that I wouldn't otherwise have if I were using another app, for example. But let's go here and see what we have. So Clever says, hope that's on the right layer. Okay. I'm confused now. It is. It is. I just named it the right layer, Stealing Wade's joke from earlier today. But yeah, it is on the right layer. Make sure to name your layers if you're not in Fresco. But if you are in Fresco, you can also name your layers. A lot of people think that you cannot, and it's a fairly common misconception. But you can actually name your layer. I love that feature. There's actually the motion feature, which is actually super handy when it comes to naming your layers, because you don't really have to care about naming your layers if you're just making an illustration and exporting a PNG. But if you're actually using motion and exporting it to Photoshop or using After Effects with your stuff, then definitely need to name those layers. Okay. Just making sure we have everything in the chat. Wade chiming in with the right layer pro tip. Yep. I use that. And Val says, I assume that as long as the line art is clean with no breaks in the lines, you can paint bucket seamlessly. Yeah, absolutely. So that is the thing. I did not have that with like the pencil sketch. Otherwise, I would have used just like the raster paint layers. But since I wanted to demonstrate the fact that you can change the brush size and the brush settings, I just thought it would be fun to create something like this. Let's go here. And feel free to ask me any questions about the app or what I'm doing today. And if you're watching this on YouTube, I don't know if I said this before, but if you're watching this on YouTube, make sure to hop on over to b.net/Adobe Live. This is actually where I'm interacting with the chat. So if you're wondering who these people are, if you're wondering who Wade is, he's in chat on Behance. So hop on over to Behance. This is where I'm at and the party's at. So don't miss it. There is such a fail way to invite you to the party, but I promise it's fun. I promise. Wade in the chat is talking about layers. I love it. Let's go here. Okay, so I feel like we can now experiment with some of the things here, and I'm going to turn off the reference layer just to see if it actually works. I'm sorry, the sketch layer, and then I'm going to go here, go to my paint bucket, select these colors. I think this is the color palette we're using, so I'm going to select this color, perhaps the orange, and let's see. Oh, that worked fine, I think, right? And then I'm going to turn the line work off and see how that looks. So I feel like there is still a little bit of gap here in the line work. Let's actually fix that. I'm going to undo a couple times, go here, go to my vector brush, not change the settings, and go to black. And I don't care about the color I'm using right now because I am going to hide the line work in the end. So it is not going to matter in the end. And then I'm going to go here and select the orange again, click here. And this time it asks you whether you wanted a pixel layer or a vector layer. I'm going to go here and select vectors. And right with that one click, it's basically how seamless it is. And you don't really have to go in and color in. That's a different case if you actually want that texture. I know Cody does a lot of drawing in and filling in to make it look more organic, but it's totally your choice to do it. If you want to add textures on top with, let's say, a different brush. So I have like these favorite brushes here, and I really like Kyle's Halftone Big Dirty. So I have this guy. I'm going to use this purple, go on top, create a clipping mask. Just as an example, I can actually go in and create these lines here. And now if I turn off the sketch layer, this is some texture that I have on over here. So I'm going to delete that for now because that is not what we wanted. And then I'm going to go here. Maybe I can change the background color just a little bit. Go over here and maybe make this purple. Now it will be hard to see. It's still as reference. So I'm going to go here and release reference. It's going to be hard to see for just 1 second because my vector layer is actually black in color. So I am going to go here, open a new layer and make it white just so you can see. And then I'm going to make a clipping mask. So now you can see the sketch is actually white in color. All I did was create a white solid layer on top and create a clipping mask so that you can see it. And now I'm going to merge it down and it's pixel. No, I didn't want to do that. Yeah, so that's one thing to remember, that if you have two vector layers and there's like a color layer on top, I think I made it like a pixel layer, which is why it was doing it. But let's actually hide this and make it black. And then we can continue making our sketch. And just to demonstrate that the fill actually works, we can continue making the line work. Okay, I'm on the right layer. I'm on the right layer. Yes, I'm on the right layer. Makes sense. Okay, let's look at the chat real quick. I haven't been looking at chat, but Stony had a really cool question. What's the difference between live brush and vector brush? So with live brushes, I think Val already answered it really well, that vector brush is painting with vector and not pixels, like your standard pixel and Photoshop brushes. Live brushes simulate real media like oil paints. I'm going to demonstrate that really quickly here if I have the time. So I'm going to click here, hide this sketch. And so whatever I was using up until now was basically vectors. And this is, I'm sorry, wrong layer. This is the vector brush that I was using. No matter how much you scale it up, even with print, it would not break and it would not look like it is bad pixels or pixelated. These are the vector brushes. There are various kinds of vector brushes. So we have the basic vector brushes, which were released with the first version of Fresco and got updated on later on. But we have Jitter now, and we also have manga brushes, which are really cool. We have G Pen, all of these really cool Kyle Webster and Adobe Fresco team creations. But let's go to live brushes and show you how that works. So this is going to be a game changer if you really love watercolors. Let's go here. It kind of emulates the watercolor. Look how vibrant that is. I did not expect that, to be honest, but that is kind of vibrant. But that's the difference. It is pixels and these are not vectors. So if you want to scale it up and if you want to create something, just make sure that your canvas size is big enough, and then you can just use whatever brushes you want. So let's go back here and go back here. Okay, let's do this. I think I'm on the wrong brush now, but if you can go to recent brushes, you can actually select the size and the brush settings of the previous brush that you used in this file. So let's actually go here and complete this sketch really quickly. Let's see. Yeah, everyone in the chat was chiming in about vectors and raster brushes. I love it. Yeah, thank you, Val and Stony. And Clever. Hey, I love the live brushes. I try to use them a lot of times, but I'm so intimidated by the watercolors. I'm like, should I really use the watercolors when I can just use vectors? That's always my struggle. I don't know if you all feel it, but whenever I'm using, I love both Fresco and Illustrator. So when I'm using Fresco for something, I'm like, should I be using Illustrator for this or should I use Fresco for this? Like, it's always a struggle for me because I love both the apps equally, but I'm always at a constant battle with that's something that I think about and get anxious about. Like, should this be pixel art and painterly style, or should this be vector and scalable and, less organic, as people say? But I'm also a firm believer that Illustrator can create organic art. So I don't know if you have seen Orlando Arosina's work, but he has really amazing work. It's mind blowing that it's made in Illustrator, and it can create organic work. It can do all kinds of things. Illustrator is powerful. But let's continue on with this sketch. Let me know if I'm really zoomed in to this. I feel like I'm kind of zoomed in. I'm kind of zoomed in, right? Maybe I'm zoomed in. All right. Let's go here, draw these really quickly. And I made these concentric circles to make it look like they were all eyes on you. That sort of situation. And then I'm going to go here, quickly create these lines. I'm not going to put in a lot of thought into it just because I don't care if they're perfect, and just going to go with it. So it's like piercing clouds sort of a situation here, because it's like, I think this piece has to do with my imposter syndrome in a way that when I feel that I am not, like, my work is not good enough to be put out there with other people's work, which is what I do at sometimes when I compare my artwork to other people, to other artists in the industry. And then I'm like, is this good enough? All eyes are on me. When I'm sharing my work on social media, I feel that sometimes. And I feel like with this piece, it's kind of reflecting that, because I feel like these eyes are piercing and everyone's looking at my work. Is it good enough? What do I do to get better at it? But with this composition, I actually feel much stronger about my compositions and my art style, because I feel like with consistency and with persistence, you can actually achieve a style that is yours and make it your own. Because before I made this, I had no idea what it was going to look like. And I saw that Old Man in Sorrow. Going back to my sketches here, I feel like this one was something that I wanted to do, but it had too many things going on. And then I was like, I don't know if I want to do that, if I really, really want to showcase this. But to be vulnerable with a live audience is something that I never thought that I would do. And I am glad to be sharing this space with you all. And I feel confident in my skills and the way that I can showcase a product and be an advocate of mental health. And um, I hope that this gives you inspiration to put yourself out there and put your work out there, just being vulnerable with your community and learning more about them. So I feel like this illustration is very close to my heart, even though it's not complete yet. I'm still working on it. But the fact that it's coming together in front of a live audience is pretty nerve wracking, to be honest. Let's get real over here. Um, I have there are a few folks joining us. I know Alessandra is here. Hey, Alessandra, hi, how are you doing? Thank you so much for joining us. Mexi Funk, yes, Bruce, you're right. Mexi Funk, Orlando Aracena is amazing. I love Orlando's work. Um, Voodoo Val says, I drew with my left hand on stream once to draw a baby Yoda that looked like graffiti drawn. That looked like graffiti drawn by baby Yoda himself. Well, well, Val, I expected no less from you. I love that. But yeah, I love that we're in a safe space here on Behance and on Adobe Live, that we can talk about how we feel as creatives, and to share like a space and a community like this with you all is my pleasure. I am really honored to be here with you all. Let's see here. I'm gonna talk my way through this and learn how to do this quicker. Okay, let's see. Let's actually turn the sketch off and no, didn't want to make a clipping mask. All right, I feel like we are in a good place, and I'm just gonna do this really quickly. A quick time check. We are at the 30-minute mark. So if you have any questions for me, let me know. I'm gonna add in some of the details here. And I'm pretty sure that these paths are probably not open, but we'll not open, not closed. That's what I meant. Yes, yes, yes. That's what I meant. So Val says it worked, but just barely. Glad to be sharing the space with you too, Anika. You rock. Hey, thanks, Val. Clever also agrees. Thank you for sharing. This is another lovely stream. Thank you all for being here. I really appreciate you all taking the time to be here with us for all the Adobe live streams and with me today. I love it. I love being honest and like talking about feelings. No, I don't. Ironical, isn't it? But let's see. So where were we? Okay. All right. I think this might need some help. I'm gonna go here and add some more, and I'm gonna do this really quickly and add color. We have this guy here. I don't know whether we're gonna get to texture, but I'll try my best to get there. But if not, I will be posting this to my social media, so you can check it out there if you'd like. We have this guy and some stars. Obviously, there's going to be sparkles because it's like, hey, it's inspiring, but should I talk about it in public? Should I talk about my feelings or my imposter syndrome? So all of that is inspiring. And the fact that there is like a pencil and a wannabe laptop here and like a telephone, which is like help, all of that is symbolizing the fact that this person wants to ask for help, but is unsure whether they should or not. Let's go here. But somewhere I want to mix. So with the laptop screen, I want to mix like text with the laptop screen. So I want to make sure that this somewhere says that it's okay to ask for help. I'm going to undo. I'm sorry. I'm going to undo a bunch of times. But I wanted to say that I want to mix text with this form of illustration just to say that you can ask for help, and that will be the message for the stream. Okay, let's go here really quickly and see what we have. Let's see. Sony also agrees. Hey, thank you. I love that. Fergie's joining us. I was just looking at chat just to see what's happening in chat. I love you all in chat. If I'm not looking at chat, it's probably because I'm drawing, but let's go here. I'm going to add these details, and then it's the magic is happening, guys. Wait for it. Wait for it. It's going to happen. Have some patience. I have this thing about, I feel like I am also sometimes thinking about patience with my artwork. And I'm like, when will I get better? You know, when you have those times when you're thinking about looking at artwork and you can recognize that your artwork is not good enough. And you're like, when will my artwork look like that? And I always kind of struggle with that because I feel like so when you first get into art, your taste is good, and as you grow your taste gets better, and then sometimes it's harder for you to like get your skills up to that level, and it takes time and longer, but your taste develops quicker. So finding like that balance is kind of hard sometimes, but yeah, that's what I always struggle with at most times. Oh wait, what happened? Oh, I'm gonna have to redo that and go here again. Go here. And now I think we're done with like the vector version of this. And I'm gonna set this as reference real quick. I'm gonna turn this back on and make a color layer, which is basically white, so that I can see my sketch again. Oh, I'm gonna. Oh no, didn't want that. No. I'm gonna go here and set it as vectors and make a clipping mask so that I can actually see the sketch on this dark background. Of course, it's purple. I'm gonna make this as a reference layer real quick and go back up on top. Go to my paint bucket tool real quick and select some colors. Okay, let's see. Well, in the chat is agreeing with me and says, I see all the rod. And I'm like, how can I do that? When will I do that? Yep, exactly how I feel. But I feel like we all do it. Yeah, that is true. I feel like all of us struggle with that kind of thing because as creators, we're often thinking about how we can get better at our skill. And I feel like that is something that's really great and we all should do. Because if you're not constantly thinking about that, I don't feel like we can actually get better at it, because what's your motivation behind it? But the motivation can be different for different people. It can be putting your work out there, it can be expressing yourself with art, or it can just be creating art for fun. So finding the right motivation for you to create whatever you're creating is something that's really important. And you can only find that by experimenting and finding the right thing for you. And I feel like you obviously don't get it if you don't find it, right? Okay, hold on. I'm gonna see if I'm on the right layer. I am. Looks like I might need some more lines here. So I'm gonna add that here real quick. Let's see. Okay. I am gonna go here and add like this color. And I just realized that I made a mistake because I didn't want this to be the same layer. So I'm gonna undo a bunch of times here, go back here, and add some color. Wait, what was it? Here. Let's go here. And I'm going to go on this layer and change this to vector. Okay. Yes. We're doing it. We're doing it. Let's go here. The chat is blowing away. I don't know where I lost you all, but let's see. Well, stars. Okay, wait for it. Where's what? Okay. Yep. Star Wars. You might say the war in the stars. Oh my god. Yes. Yes. Fergie, what's up? Fergie says, I agree. Well, we're always growing and improving. Indeed. Alex, what's up? Alex is in the chat. Alex is going to be on a stream later today, so I'm really excited for that. Oliver says, this reminds me of those old repro sheets you used to put between two sheets of paper. And Stony agrees, I've gotten to a point now where I can say, can I do that? But have I done it? And Val talks about memes and comic papyrus. Yes, yes, yes. Ruth, thank you so much for being here. I appreciate you being here and appreciating what we're doing and trying to reflect our values out in the world. Okay, let's actually go ahead and pick a different color because I feel like it's too much purple. What? How much purple is too much purple though? Right? Am I right or am I right? Let's see. Oh no, I missed the line there. Let's go back. So I feel like this is like a constant process for everyone. We're like, oh, did I miss a line there? What is happening here? Let's go here and I'm gonna add some color here. Maybe I think this is the one that we're talking about. I'm on the wrong layer again. Oops. Okay, hold on. Okay, I think we're good now, right? We're good, folks. We're good. So let's add this. And just to showcase how this is going to look without the line work, I'm actually going to turn the line work off for just a second. I feel like miss something here But let's actually turn this off and see how that looks. So that's how it's looking right now. And I love how that looks, because without the line work, the negative space comes into play. And that is really, really amazing for the kind of illustration I'm going for. And yeah, I love it. And let's see, I want to see more chat, because I know we're missing on chat here. And Val says, why did you have to bring memes into this? I had to, Val. I had to. How could I not say memes when Alex is in the chat, right? Am I right? And let's see, we have over here, what's happening? I'm just checking to see if you have any questions, but okay. Secret fan of Star Trek. Yeah, I know that. I know that about Val. But let's see here. I think I want to add more color to this. So I'm gonna go ahead to this face and maybe add like a white color. So maybe I'll just pick this white tone here, or go here in my other color palette and pick this color. Who says we can't use more color, right? Wait, did I paint on the wrong layer? Oh my god, I painted on the wrong layer, made everything pixels, you guys. I made everything pixels and I wanted it to be vectors. Oh no, let me go here and try to fix it. Oh my god, this is not what I expected. Okay, let's see here. Let's do this really quickly. Okay, you pretend you didn't see this. Okay, pretend you didn't see this. Let me do this really quickly. Hold on. We're good. Okay, we're almost good. 1 second. Over here, and then I'm gonna go this color. Bloop, bloop. And over here, those were not the sound effects that it makes, but it's fine. We have this here and this one, and maybe this one. Oh, we already did that. Okay, let's see. Can we turn it off? We can turn it off. All right, we're almost there. We made it. I guess. And then we have this one. Wait, why is it not doing it? That is so weird to me. But let's actually hide this layer now, because we don't want to mess with that. But we're talking about wrong layers. What wrong layer? I've been on the right layer all this while. What are you talking about, chat? I don't know. But we have these colors. I think I forgot about the yellow, so I'm going to use that for this guy actually. Yeah, I kind of like that. It's way vibrant than I thought it would be, but we will fix that in just a second. I know I was using the white for the shape of the face, which I'm also going to put on a different layer. I'm going to put this on top just so that I don't mess with this layer now. But I'm going to go here and go with white, go to vectors. Maybe the line work isn't perfect here, so I'm going to go here again and go back to this. There you go. That's the line work that you're looking for. And if you hold the touch modifier, you can actually use it as an eraser, or just like a clear mode in Photoshop. So if you're using brushes in Photoshop, if you're using a North American keyboard, you can actually hold the tilde button and use it as an eraser, and you can do the same in Fresco. So let's see here. I'm going to use this as vector. Oh no. Let's see. What do we have here? I think we might have to use the lasso for this. So I'm going to go ahead and click my lasso tool and go here really quickly. Oh, I found it just when I was using the lasso, but it's fine. Just to save time, I can go here, click my lasso, go over here. I want the hair to be like the negative space. So I'm going to keep the hair purple, I think. And then we can look at more colors. So we have this guy here, and then I'm going to use vectors. Okay. Yeah, I think that looks nice, right? Kind of, maybe. Okay. And then we have this. Line work. Make sure to make your line work really nicely, unlike what I did today. I think it's just the fact that when you're talking and creating, it's kind of hard sometimes, but there you go. I think that looks brilliant. What do you all think of this? But let's see. We have a lot of people in chat talking, and I'm just not looking at chat. I'm so sorry, you guys. Let's look at chat again. And Val says, if I don't paint for mental health, I watch ocean documentaries. Oh, that's really fun. I watch the Discovery Channel when I'm not painting or drawing for mental health. But I love it. I love that. I was talking about how I drew on the wrong layer, and Alessandra says, I took my glasses off, so I didn't see anything, Anika. That is perfect. Yes, you didn't have to see that. I love it. And Oliver says that you can do the tilde key with the UK Mac keyboard as well. That is amazing. I did not know that. I just thought that it was on the US keyboards because sometimes people complain about you not having that configured on your keyboard. But I know definitely that you can configure that for other keys as well. So let's go here. I'm sorry, lost my train of thought. But let's actually go here and add some color to these guys again. And I'm going to use maybe this pink color here along with this guy over here. Oh, and my line work isn't so perfect, but let's actually fix that real quickly. I'm gonna go with my pen vector pen here and fix it. I'm gonna keep an eye on the time just to make sure we are still we have some few minutes to go, so we have some time to do this. Let's see. Okay, I feel like it should be good now. Okay, you wanna bet? It's good. It's good. We did it. Let's see. Let's use some yellows here as well, just to bring in that contrast. And I don't know if I want to use some yellows here. Maybe this purple here for this one. Knew that was gonna happen. Glad I'm not on the wrong layer, but that never happened. We have some things here, which is right here. Go over these lines a little bit. I feel like there was this line here that I was missing that happened earlier as well. I'm going to try to find it really quickly. Okay, I feel like we're good now. All right, I'm going to go back to this layer again and go to a different color. Let's see, this color? No, this should be here. Yep. And then I'm going to take the orange. I am honestly not a fan of this, to be honest. Honestly, not a fan of this, to be honest. Yes. But I feel like this yellow kind of brings everything together. Oh, there you go. That's the line that I was missing. I found it. Hard way. Maybe now it works. I think so. Yes. Okay. Yes, it worked. So I think now I'm going to go with like this lighter color here and fill in this color. And I'm not going to worry about anything else like the squares being filled out because I can fix that later. But let's actually change. And the beauty of using these vector shapes in like reference layer is that I can go in and manually like change it on the fly, and I don't have to care about this layer being turned on. If I'm on this layer, which is vector, I can quickly go over here and make it, let's say I want to make it white. So I can just click here and make it white. And actually that doesn't look so bad. So maybe I'll keep it that way. I do see that there are these lines that I didn't want. So maybe later on when I'm actually finishing the piece, I can go in and color in with a little bit vector on a different layer or the same layer. It doesn't really matter. Whatever works for you, works for you. Let's go ahead and see here. We do have some things here which are another color. I'm going to use pink, this magenta pink sort of a color here, just because I want to make the phone this color, but I can also leave it blank. So let me see how that looks. Yeah, I don't like that. Let me undo that. I'm going to make this probably. Okay. I see there are some issues here. So let me actually fix it real quick and see how that looks. Yeah, I think this is going to work. Okay. Let's close these lines. What is this? I don't remember this being a shape. What is the shape? Okay, let's go back. Okay, I'm going to go back to this layer really quick and make sure we were doing this. Yep. Got it. And I'm going to use the orange for the lamp because why not, right? And maybe I'll actually leave the top part. What did I do? Oh, I use the same color. That makes sense. Maybe I'll just leave the top part to be nothing but just the negative space. So if I turn this off, it is kind of looking like this. I am not a fan of the orange here. So maybe I'll pick like this pink color here. Then maybe I have to change this color. So let's actually, so it's a lot of hit and trial because you don't know how things are going to look later on. And you just have to kind of experiment and play with the colors a bit. And I really love doing that in this case because it's super easy and super handy. You can do that in just a quick second. Now I'm going to go here. Maybe I find this color here. Maybe I find just like a white that I want here. I can always go in on a new layer, use a vector brush, go in, zoom in, and then just color into this shape, and it will be seamless. Obviously, as a PNG, you don't know what it looks like from the inside. So you can do that if it's like personal artwork, but if it is like a client piece, you can also do that in case you want like the original file and save a copy and then merge it down on a different file and save versions. So let's see. Stony is going. Hey, bye, Stony. Thank you so much for joining. I'm sure you already left, but I missed that. But thank you so much for joining me today. Ingrid and Afroja, thank you so much for being here. Ingrid says it's cool. This is amazing. I'm learning a lot with you. And Oliver says so much done so quickly. Love it. Val says these colors look so good together. How did you choose them? So I think I talked about that a little bit, but my brand colors and all the colors that I always use, they're purple. I don't think they're here yet, but like all the colors that I have this color palette which is by Fresh Cake, and he's an amazing creative. Fresh Cake does a lot of pastel colors. What is this? Get out of here. We talked about his color palettes. We have spoken about that earlier, but we have Adobe Color 2021 here, and I sort of tweaked the purples that I found here and the oranges and made this color palette that we have. And just going off from there, I kind of really always like the purples and the oranges and the yellows. And this pink was a new addition. I never used this kind of bright, vibrant pink, or whatever the hex code is for this, but I never used this. And this was the first. This is what it looks like. And this is making, if I go back to here, I did not have pink earlier, but I added that later because I felt like it needed like that zing, and with that I needed some other color. So yeah, that's how I decided. I hope that answers your question. Val says also your verbal narration is very relatable. Does this work? I think it works. Oh, what do I do? No, it's fine. I'm fine. everything's fine. Yeah. Yeah, I just want to be authentic with you all. With that said, let's go here and see what all we have. Okay, so I think I want to do some yellows here as well. So let's bring that in. This might look good with the yellow eye. We're gonna fill in some more of these. I'm gonna get some colors here. Go get some of this one and maybe some yellow here. Afroja, thank you so much for joining us. And maybe the pencil is yellow, right? Or maybe it's orange. I don't know. We'll see. And then we have this purple, of course, or maybe like this yellow. I don't know. We'll see. We can tweak the colors later. And then the background is gonna be for the laptop or this notebook that we have here. I'm gonna keep the background to be just this, the negative space, just because I want to write something in it, and I feel like it would be really, really against the legibility if I fill in something with that. So I feel like making illustrations, I never approached it like design in a way, and I always thought that illustrate it, you need to have a different skill when you're making illustrations, but illustration is basically drawing and designing at the same time, because with thumbnails you essentially think about what style you want to go with, and it's like making iterations of your logos, and then you go ahead to make other things. So with thumbnails for illustrations, you think about what my logo could look like, and these are the iterations, and with color you make those iterations and create that design over and over again. And I feel like that's how I can relate both design and illustration, and that has always been like a mental struggle for me before. Once I figured that out, I was like, oh, this is not as bad, right? Val says, this is giving me the urgent urge to paint. Val, go for it. I would love to see what you create. You can share any and all of your creations inspired by what we're doing here today with me on social media. I am ANIKAAGG on social media, both on Behance and YouTube. Instagram. I mean Instagram, but I'm also on YouTube. So you can check that out as well. I would love to see what you all create, because I feel like I am here to inspire you and help you create something in Fresco, because it's one of my favorite app. And I feel like if you create something, I would love to see it. I'd love to see it. Yeah, that's what I meant to say. Okay, let's see. We have some yellows here. Let's see. How much time do we have? We have about 7 minutes left. So if you have any pressing questions to me, and if you're watching this on YouTube, hop on over to Behance. That's where I'm reading everyone's chat. If you're wondering, okay, let's go here and pick this. No, didn't want to do that. Let's go here. Go on top and zoom in just a little bit. I'm actually going to turn the line work off for this just because I don't want to go away. Oh, okay. So now I'm going to go to lock. Isn't there a lock transparency for a vector layer? That is so weird. I thought it was. Oh, that is interesting. I did not know that there was no logged layer for transparency for a vector layer, but in case this was a raster layer, you could actually lock alpha transparency and paint on top. But let's actually go here and make this a different color. Okay, I see where it is. I can just go in here and maybe make this a closed shape. Closed shape right here. Is it working? Am I doing it? I'm doing it, right? All right. Let's see. Val says, Anika, where will we find this project when you are finished? Behance and Instagram? Yeah, my Instagram would be a good place to check it out. I will post my finished project there. Let's see. We're gonna move past the thing that just happened because it's gonna take a while to redo the colors there. So I'm gonna do that in my own time. Let's actually bring in some of the oranges. I feel like that's really less. And I feel like I wanna look at, like, I wanna turn off the sketch to see how it's going to look later on in the end. With that said, I do want to add lines to this. So I'm going to use my jitter brush and use like white here